Yo, good evening, viewers of the tube. My name is Tyler, and it's good to be back bringing you the best crypto-focused content. I'm sure some of you have missed me, and I sure as hell missed all of you. Well, let's get the crypto prices pumping once again, because it's time for Chico Crypto. Bitcoin, it's just over a decade old, a tween and not fully yet mature. The technology is still growing, adapting, and learning to eventually satisfy its destiny as a global currency that is without borders and is controlled by no single entity, but controlled by everyone as a whole. Some people argue that Bitcoin is on the path to fulfill that destiny. Then there are some people that say it has been corrupted and is straying away from that path. Will Layer 2 solutions like the Lightning Network allow scalability? Has Blockstream corrupted the core Bitcoin team? Is Bitcoin Cash actually better than Bitcoin? Those are questions that have opinion, evidence for and against, meaning they can't be answered for certain. Although one thing is certain about Bitcoin that was written into the code 10 years ago by Satoshi Nakamoto. In under a year, Bitcoin is about to get 50% less inflationary due to a significant event known as the halving. During this, the network supply or block reward gets cut in half every 210,000 blocks, or about every 4 years, and it stair-steps its way down. Thus, this means the inflation rate follows the same pattern, stair-stepping its way down, while the overall supply level of Bitcoins flatten out until the last Satoshi is mined, which is currently estimated to happen in the year 2140. The code is the law here, and this is what Bitcoin will follow as long as miners are willing to power the network. On the complete opposite end of the spectrum is how the US dollar works. The government and central bankers are the law here, and they get to decide the supply, and their decision has been to inflate that supply, over 30x since 1971. Of course, this has resulted in a significant drop in the purchasing power of the US dollar over the equal amount of time, an 84% drop since 1971 to be exact. And this has created the Bitcoin smile. As the dollar loses value, the number of dollars a Bitcoin is worth just keeps increasing, being fueled by the core asset becoming scarcer after every 10-minute block. The block countdown clock is ticking, and the next drastic change to the supply is coming in just over 346 days, according to this countdown clock. Now, if you have been paying attention to the short 10-year history of Bitcoin, past halving events were followed by a violent price increase. There have been two events, once when the reward was slashed to 25 BTC per block, and once when the reward was slashed to 12.5 BTC per block. Both times seemed like they were the spark that started the next bull run. In May of 2020, the supply will be trimmed once again to 6.25 BTC per block. The price action as of lately is saying it may be ready to follow previous patterns and set off another bull run you will tell your grandkids about. There are only two previous halving events, so let's see what happened to Bitcoin's price leading up to the event, on the day of the event, and after at the peak of its bull run price. The first halving event occurred on November 28, 2012. 346 days before this was December 18, 2011, and Bitcoin's price was $3.19. By the time of the halving, the price grew up to $12.35, a 3.87x. Then, the price turned insanely bullish. In just over a year, 372 days, Bitcoin reached its peak price of just over $1,147, a 91x from its halving price. Now the next halving event happened on July 9th, 2016. 346 days before this was July 29th, 2015. To this date, Bitcoin decreased in price from its peak down to about $289 per coin, a loss of about 75% of its value. It seems like this is a time when Bitcoin starts its reversal, because since the date in July 2015 to the halving date in July of 2016, Bitcoin's price increased from $289 per coin to $650 per coin, a 2.24x. Then, just like clockwork, the price turned bullish once more, although it took some more time to reach the peak price, 525 days on December 16, 2017. The price went from $650 on the day of the halving to $19,343 at its peak, nearly a 30x growth in its price. And now, we end up at today, 346 days away from the next halving event. The price is down from its peak to the price as of yesterday, $7,749. It has lost about 60% of its value. The pattern shows from previous events the magnitude of price increases leading up to the event, and the peak price at bull run is decreasing. Leading up to the halving in November of 2012, it grew by 3.87x in 346 days. Leading up to the halving in July of 2016, it grew by 2.24x in 346 days. This change in magnitude was about a 42% decrease. If we take that into account for this coming up halving, Bitcoin will grow by 1.3x. This means the price during the halving of May of 2020, Bitcoin could be about $10,703. But what about the next peak price? Well, this has followed a similar pattern. The magnitude of price increase has fallen with Bitcoin's overall growth in value. From the halving to the peak in December of 2013, it grew by 91x. And from the halving to its peak in December of 2017, a 30x. The magnitude decreased by 67%. Based on this, the next price increase will be about a 9.9x. So the peak price after the halving would be 10,703 multiplied by 9.9x, which would give us a peak price of about $106,000. When is the exact date? Well, the past has shown us that it happens in between 1 to 2 years after the supply reduction. I have a strong feeling that this will be the case once again. So these prices and the timelines, they satisfy my own personal feelings. But I know some people are saying that 10,703 is too low for the price in about a year's time. They think it will be way higher, maybe even past the old all-time high. Well, that might not be the case. The halving event is currently being priced in. Halving events have always produced price increases. What happens when people know the price of an asset will be higher in the future? They buy it, with plans to sell it afterwards for a profit. People have been assuming this for some time now, buying up Bitcoin for plans of future profits. Therefore, we should assume the market has already partially priced in the halving, due to risk takers entering the market with hopes of future price increases. But the price action during this time has to also include the miners. Miners take full advantage of these cycles. As soon as they smell a bull cycle, they stop dumping their mining rewards on the market. Who the hell sells in the early stage of a bull market? Beginners do. And the miners are no beginners. They have been in Bitcoin since the early days. So miners stop selling, and the supply of Bitcoin on the markets become a problem that is good for the price. We have been seeing these effects in the recent Bitcoin price movements. Why do you think we broke through 6K without any resistance? Why do you think we have gone from in the $3,000 range to over $8,000 in a couple of months? Supply and demand. The supply is going to get even more constricted due to the halving, and the miners turn off their supply due to a bull market increase. Increasing demand and no supply equals an increase in the price. But the best explanation one can give for why halving increases the price, it has to do with market psychology. If I ask Bitcoin experts and investors why they think the Bitcoin price will go up within the next year, they will most likely say the Bitcoin halving. The halving is one of Bitcoin's best marketing tools. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. People buying because they expect the halving to increase price, and the halving increasing the price because people buy. Well, viewers, the countdown is on, and the market is already working itself out in preparation for the next halving. With the amount of institutional interest and enterprise adoption, the next year is going to be a jolly good time. And I'll be there the whole ride. Cheers, viewers. I'll see you next time.